Hey team, thought I'd just go over a quick couple of spots to help show how to defend workshop and vents. Obviously this is on the first floor, so a lot of people are going to be attacking coming from the first floor, but what I wanted to show is how to defend it from above. Now, a lot of this is going to involve shooting out holes to see what we're doing, so I'd recommend most of the time bringing an operator that has a shotgun, like say Castle, since he's got his super shorty, or maybe using a Rooney with her melees, but also an operator that can, you know, survive upstairs, because whilst you're going to be shooting open these holes here, and you're going to be holding from above, you don't want to be immediately destroyed whilst being up here. Say if someone does push us whilst we're up here, we don't want to die immediately. Now you could go as an operator, say like Vigil, and waste a bunch of time trying to get them to drone you out, but we want to be able to hold these positions for as long as possible. We don't really want them pushing us out. We don't want the attackers getting us out of it, because if they did, well then they could use these holes to their advantage, which we don't really want. Or worse, they can make their own holes. So the first hole I'm going to show you here is the one that shows the entrance to vents from the double door entrance. This one is really standard, and it will usually be accompanied by this one here. We'll just break open this. You can see the window here. We have got complete control over both entrances to vent that aren't our rotate, which we'll have down in the site below. So yeah, basically both of these holes will hold any way of them getting in. If they try to get through this barricade, we can just shoot them as they walk in. And if they try to get through this door, we can just shoot them as they try to walk in. Moving on to the next holes. So another important one you'll want to get is, if you look at this locker here, you can look here and blast this open. You can see there's a nice hole here, and this will get the main entrance to workshop open. So if you can see here, it's out in that hallway. To give you an idea of where it is, I'll open this extra hole here. So you can see that's the doorway leading to metal stairs. Here's the entrance here. Here's where we can hold it from. So if you wanted to, maybe you could even hold it from here. You can shoot them in the back whilst they're trying to walk in, but it's a bit more limited because we can actually hold more on site if we have this hole here. And that covers most of the ones that we have in Armoury. So moving on into archives, we're gonna blow open this hole here. And this is gonna hold out into the hallway, coming into workshop, the more eastern door. We're gonna be able to fire on anybody walking in. And also here, if we feel like we need some control, if they're going to blast through bathrooms using a hard breach charge, I think opening up this hole here is really not going to be that bad of an idea, because you can shoot through here to get to the corner of, you know, we've got these two soft walls, and if they breach either of these, they might want to plant in this spot here, you know, go for a smoke plant. We can easily just, you know, have a little bit of spray fire down here. They won't be able to get in that easier. And if they're planting in the corner, we can shoot from here. We can shoot from this more concealed spot using this rotate. So now that I've shown all of them, I'd like to show ways to remember them quite easily for when you're setting them up. So for this one, what you want to do is just remember that we've got these two lockers here. We want to just, you can see this beam here, it lines up pretty nicely. You're just going to go just to the left of that beam and by these lockers. And you get that open. For this one, you want to look at this clipping board, you're right on it. You want to line yourself up with it, look down, shoot it open. This one, it's quite obvious. It's just this lock right here. Stand here, open it up. And for this, it's just in the corner of the room. You can really just shotgun open the corner and stand here. For this one, you want to make sure you're stood in the middle roughly. You can line yourself up with this. It works as a good hallmark of where you are. You don't really need this bit here. You need more of this bit. Yeah, you can hold other side with it. Okay, now onto why we bring in Castle and not some other random op. Castle's great for really holding down the lines of sight and making it so that they can't just, you know, slam their way through the barricade, just immediately catch me with my pants down, say if I'm holding this here. So let's say if I was... I think you can follow up on this. But let's say if I was holding here, and then suddenly this just gets shot down and opened. Someone's going to run in, and they're going to immediately see me here. If I'm stood over the top of that hole, or the top of this hole, they're going to get me pretty easily. So, castle this. And we're also going to reinforce this. So, for those of you downstairs, give me 2 reinforcements. At least 2. 2 is the minimum I'd say we need to hold this site from above. So we just put down these 2, because if they get this breached with like a regular breaching charge, this is completely unplayable. With this, say if someone's walking through, I could maybe set up a prox, or just wait for them to walk into my loving arms, shoot them, and then get back to work when someone else is downstairs. But if this is open, it makes me extremely vulnerable to someone like repelling outside. If I show quickly. Someone's repelling here. You can see that they can see through these reinforced walls, and they will actually be able to see me whilst I'm inside. So, you're going to castle it off. At the same time, get these reinforced. So if we're talking like in our stack play, I think like castling this would be the next good shot. Because to go downstairs, we just use our hatches. And so you could keep these hatches, you know, clean, not shot open, until you actually needed to open them to get downstairs, because really you should only be playing, say, Vigil, Mute, Castle, Armoury. All of them are pretty much rotatable anyways, so they all have like rotate tools on them. Of course, Vigil has his impacts, everybody, you know, Castle and Mute have their shotguns, Armoury has their melee, so they can open up the hatches at will. So we don't really need these hatches shut, and this is why having this one here is more important than keeping this hatch open, because if someone comes through here, there's a chance they might not have the tools to open up the hatch. So it's better not to chance it. So we got 2 castles here, 1 castle here. Now for this, if someone's trying to take it from this side, maybe holding here isn't such an important thing. Maybe we should barricade this. Because if someone's approaching from the outside here, it's kind of easy to shoot them. Maybe we should be castling this. And it would be more obvious when they're inside the building. We can maybe send someone up for a flank to go around and hit them. Outside we can't really do that, so we don't really need to reinforce any of these walls. You might, if we have any spare reinforcements, want to reinforce this wall, because this gets opened, or if it gets breached, this spot here and this spot here are kind of a little bit less playable, because someone could easily get a line of sight at us from that road. And we want to be able to play in these spots for as long as possible without someone contesting them whilst we're planting. Whilst the enemy is planting. If we're bringing Mute on this site, you want to put down a Mute jammer there to stop hard breaching from happening, making it easier for us to play in these spots. I'd say also put a Mute jammer here. This is going to stop the drones from coming through these 2 bits. It's going to make it easier for us to play in here. Put a jammer here to stop drones coming from metal. Drones are obviously going to come from metal. And just in general, putting a Mute jammer here is very useful, because it will also probably get the top of metal without exposing itself. Makes droning it take a lot longer even if they have a twitch. And finally for archives, what we want to do is just put a Mute jammer there. And that's going to stop this wall, this castle barricade from getting opening. And any drones that come through this little hole here will also be got. Okay, that's it for Armoury, Locker, and Archives. And now I'm going to go on to how to hold customs from above.